'Cause you are my heart, and you are my soul, and you give me love, more precious than gold. Never too far, wherever you are, you make me feel we're closer than close. And baby, I love, love, love that about ya. I do. You are the one, and I got ya. I do. Can't get enough, enough, enough. Can't give it up, up, up. You are the one, and I got ya. Baby, I do.
We met back in 2011. I was having my birthday, and one of my favorite cousins, I invite him to every party that I have. And normally he comes to all my parties, and I know the guys that he normally brings. And this time he rolls through with a different face. Never had I seen this face before. And so I was like, let me show some Southern hospitality. Go say hello, ask them do they want some shots, some of my infused watermelon, and you know, just mingle a little bit. So I went over to the table, interrupted them, and I was like, you know, shots, anybody? So everyone took one. And then when introducing and speaking to him, he told me his name and everything. And I'm going to be honest, his smile is what attracted me to him, because I fall for a nice smile. But then the words that followed was, oh, you the birthday girl? I'm like, yeah. He was like, oh, my ex birthday in the next couple of days. From then on, we did not talk for the rest of that party, because everybody was like, how dare you? I was like, how do you talk? I'm introducing myself to you. How do you come out and start talking about your ex? How rude.
It wasn't no everybody who said that.
The whole table went wild. Like, oh, no, bro, I know you didn't just do that. And that's what he did.
Y'all ready for the
That's
truth?
how we met.
We met on online dating, actually.
I feel like that sounds weird.
Well, I think I should answer that differently.
Yeah.
The way we met was through online dating. Yeah.
I'll tell the story. So I have this friend named Jessica. She was super annoying about me dating because she was all into this Tinder app. And I was like, girl, I am not desperate. I don't need that. I have a date. She was like, Delise, you just have so many options. You never know. I've had so much luck, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no. She stole my phone out of my hand and she downloaded the app for me and then put in my information. I was like, fine, let me at least tell the right things about myself. So I signed myself up. So I go on the first Tinder date and I was like, meh. It was not no chemistry. And then the second date was this guy. And then I was like, yeah, then we're here for 2.5 years.
We met at 11:45, which is the old Frank Skis, on the July 4th weekend of 2016. Is that right?
Yeah, it was 2016. We met actually on July 3rd. It was funny because I guess at the time I had just tore my Achilles and I had a boot. So I was in the club in a day party with a boot on, and I walked up when I walked up to the bar, she turned around and introduced herself to me like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, wow, that was different. And we just had casual conversation. We started talking about fitness. And she was like, okay, well, let me get your information. I'm trying to get into fitness, right? Because she was talking about getting into a transition.
Let him tell his story.
She said she was trying to get herself into shape, and she wanted a workout plan. But when we actually talked on the phone, we never talked about working out. And she still ain't got no workout plan from me. So, and you know, that was pretty much how we met. We exchanged information, and I think one of the weird things is that the first day we met, we took a selfie together.
That was very,
and that
very
was
strange.
weird because it was kind of like, you know, usually when you first meet somebody, you don't actually take a picture with somebody.
Right,
so it was like we kind of documented that first day without even knowing where it could go. So it was cool.
Most of that is true. Most of it. She came to the table and started, you know, introducing everybody, whatever. Introduced herself, brought the little shots, whatever. Then everything else after that was a lie. All I was saying was I knew it was my homeboy cousin. So I'm like, at the end of the day, I ain't talking about it here or whatever because it's my homeboy cousin. So I'm chilling. She comes and says, hey, this is my birthday girl, yada yada. Coincidentally, my ex birthday is like 3 days later. So I'm making small talk. So I'm trying to just say, oh, this was up, cool, you know.
About his
my ex birthday is in 3 days, whatever. Ain't the whole table. She blow up. Talking about, oh, hey, now hold on. You don't never talk about another girl. Why you trying to talk to somebody? And I was like, I wasn't trying to talk to nobody. Then she was like, oh.
I was done. But then the next day he was posting pictures
She
from
stalked
my
me
party
on- she
with
stalked me on
the
Facebook.
cups that he got. And he started stalking me on Facebook.
She stalked me on Facebook, yeah.
That's how we end up talking from then forward. It actually started started negatively, but then it ended up
she
really
stalked me.
connecting through Facebook.
I'm in love
Hell
with
yeah,
my
we in love.
chocolate drop.
Hell yeah. I mean,
I am. You can tell
So-
he's more talkative than I am, but go on.
lies.
Go on, babe.
lies. Oh my God.
babe.
Tell it. Tell
Go
the
on,
love.
babe. Go.
Tell the love part.
Go on. Well, originally I've said I love you, and I had to like basically retract it because he didn't say it back. I was like, dang, he don't love me. But it was kind of like I felt it. I knew that I was in love, and I said it, and it was kind of like, oh crap, did you just say I love you? And he didn't say it back. I don't think you said it back.
No, I didn't.
But we sat and had a conversation about it, and I actually appreciated the fact that he was not saying I love you just to say I love you. He wanted to actually, say it with confidence, say it and actually mean what he said when he said it. So we sat down and had a conversation about it, and it was a few days maybe later that he said it. But I said how I felt. I didn't really. It wasn't like my love vanished because he didn't say it back to me.
Yeah, you got to be honest with yourself when you're talking about love. Like, you want to be truthful. That's how you get your tires slashed. When you're lying, you get in trouble. So I want to be honest with her when I really felt it, opposed to just saying it to say it.
I haven't slashed any tires ever. Go on.
I'm just saying, you never know. So
Are we in love? I personally, I can only speak for myself. Am I in love with this man? Absolutely. It's been 6 years, and it's been 6 years consistent. There hasn't been any breaking up in between. So when I try to think back, it's hard to think about any prior relationships. It's kind of like he's all I really know right now, and what we've learned and grown with together, I feel has really built a foundation for us. So yes, I would say I'm in love with him. I've been in love with him for the past 5 years. That first year, but the past 5 years I've been in love with him, and we have our rocky moments, but that still doesn't take the love away. I still love him just as much because he works hard to keep our love strong and show that genuine compassion and that he wants us to work. Yours, sir.
I would say yes. Main reason more so because like you said, as far as it's been a while, it's been a long time. So we've been through quite a bit over that time. So it's like I would never consider love just like an exact moment or an instance. Like, hey, I love this person right now, the whole butterfly feeling type of thing. Because that stuff fades. So I never really care about that. Because at the end of the day, the first 3 days of a relationship isn't the whole relationship.
Right.
So a lot of people do the whole fell in love at first sight, this and that. A month later, then they got problems. So my thing is, we've been through, like I said, quite a bit in terms of, ups and downs, doing financial stuff as far as entrepreneurship, business, jobs, whatever, school. So we've been through a lot. And like I said, I believe you grow to love people for the way you all mesh together and kind of feed off each other. If people do, hold you up or lift you up or make you a better person, all that wraps into how you love someone.
Are we in love? I think we are in love. I think she knew before I did. It took me a little while to get there. And I think it took me a little longer simply because of everything that was happening around me. And, it's hard to focus on one thing when you're focused on another. So having a lot going on, in your life, can sometimes blind you from the blessings in your life. And I think when I knew that I was in love with her, might have been around my first birthday. Because I think before that I loved her, had love for her, but knowing that I was in love with her, I think had to be around my 30th. Was that my first birthday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's 30 when a good friend of mine came down, and even at that point, things just didn't seem like they were supposed to be that way. But no matter what, she was there for me, and she was doing any and everything that she could to support, my day, even though I didn't even care anymore.
No, that came out wrong.
Oh.
But something was stuck. No, for real though. No shade.
Yeah, but that's when I knew.
I'm in a love. But I think every relationship, you go through ebbs and flows. I mean, there's some times when I'm more in love and other times where I love him. But, we're just kind of in this funky place, this weird place. But right now, it's a good place and I'm in a love. And I knew, I don't know, a long time ago. I feel like when we first met, I remember I was like sitting on my bathroom counter and you were like brushing your hair or something. I don't know. And I was like, we're going to get married. And you looked at me and I felt like that was like, girls, you were not supposed to say that. Everybody knows you don't say that. You scared them off. And I said it anyway. And he was like, maybe. And I was like, oh, he didn't shoot me down. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He didn't shoot me down. No. So I felt like really comfortable. I feel like I just went way around that question.
Yeah, but
I don't even know what I'm saying.
Bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Bring it back. Yeah, you got it.
Whoops.
You got it. My experience with dating in Atlanta wasn't, I guess, long-lived, or it didn't go the way that I wanted to, or planned to, simply because I came to Atlanta to pursue music, and within that journey, other circumstances presented themselves that kind of inhibited that from happening in the fashion that I wanted to. So dating was kind of here and there. So when I found Delise, it was kind of refreshing to meet somebody that's somewhat like me, as far as knowing when to be serious, being able to be goofy, even though she's a lot more goofier than I am, and she won't admit it. But other than that, my dating experience wasn't really, I guess, long-lived.
My dating experience was, I couldn't find any guys that I felt like were like for real. Like so many guys, they like look at you and they might think, oh, she looks nice, or oh, she has a nice job, but they're just trying to just hit it and quit it. And that's just not who I was. So my dating experience kind of sucked for a long time because you ain't about to just get this.
It was bad. It was really bad. If you're in Atlanta, leave. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But it was difficult for me.
I guess one of the sayings they say when you come to Atlanta, two things you should have, especially as a female, is a job and a man, because you ain't gonna find them when you get here.
That's true.
And that's some of the sayings. Just looking at the ratios, right? You got a lot of the different HBCUs in schools, to where when I went to Clark Atlanta University, it was about 15-1. And usually most people graduate, even probably at State, the women graduate, but they don't leave. It's a lot of women in Atlanta, but it's quantity, but not quality. And for me, it was one of the things where I knew I was ready to be in a relationship. I just didn't find the right person. So it got to be a point where it would be fun sometimes to be single. However, it got boring and it got old real quick, because you'd be dealing with people, but no one you actually could see yourself being with.
Question.
I knew when I wanted to be with her in a relationship was when she kept pressuring me. She kept asking me. I was like,
He took forever. Seriously.
2 months.
Seriously.
Word.
It was not. Like before we became official, or before you decided you wanted to date me? I'm not sure what you're answering. But we hung out first in January. Then it's April. Okay, 2 months? Do the math. That ain't 2 months.
But anyways, I think I knew I wanted to be in a relationship with her once I really understood who she was. We did have, I guess, like any other couple, problems that we needed to resolve, and it's not really problems. It's just the process of really getting to know that person. I'm my own person, she's her own person, and the thing is, how do we make that work? And I think, seeing who she was at that point, she had a lot of positive qualities that I thought that were, I guess, highlighting to my character. And I think that it was gonna work, so. And she's so stinking cute.
I want to answer that question. I knew I wanted to be with Gervin within like the first week. I know, I move very quickly when I like somebody, seriously. And that's what the whole pressure thing, stop it. Okay, so anyway, I just felt there was this really good chemistry, and not like I had found with anybody else in Atlanta. And I felt like spiritually we connected, we're on the same page. He's super affectionate. And I was like, how you gonna be manly but still affectionate? That's what I've been looking for. And he had that. So I felt like he cared about me, and I felt protected, and I was like, yep, this is the one.
So what I've learned since I've been in a relationship about myself was one thing, I just need to be more patient. In a relationship, you're, especially when you're just building two lives come together, and you gotta gel those personalities, and people are gonna have different tendencies, and they're gonna react to things not necessarily how you think they will react. So one of the biggest things for me is I had to learn to have patience with my girl, with my lady, and be understanding, be open.
As people say, communication is key, but I learned to basically be open about everything. I didn't want to hide anything. I didn't want to, have him in the street and someone to come up and tell him something that he didn't know. I wanted to be very open with him. Of course, we both went to school in Atlanta, so I know a lot of people from Georgia State. He knows a lot of people from Clark. And so when we're out, we see, everything, everybody, and, mingle with everybody. But I just wanted to be open and tell him everything that I could possibly tell him and not have a wall up. So
Yeah.
I think I've learned to be open more and actually count him as a best friend and not like someone that's out to get me. So I'm trying to hide something from him.
Another thing, a great thing about her that I've learned is just when you be supportive to other people, it'll come back to you tenfold. So that's one thing too, just to be more supportive to other people's personal lives, their business endeavors, and it'll come back to you. And not even in doing it, not expecting it for it to come back, but just doing it out of the kindness of your heart. That's one thing I've learned from her, even more than what I used to do before.
What I've learned about him since moving together, ooh.
Well, you better speak on that. There you go.
Anyways, one thing I've learned about living with him is he's a hoarder.
Excuse you.
He is a hoarder. So with me being very organized and him being a hoarder, sometimes it is a pet peeve. And now he realizes it, so now he stops trying to hoard stuff. But he doesn't mind clutter. Like, he cleans up after himself, but he doesn't mind clutter.
Organized clutter.
His organized clutter means a stack of clothes from the week. I'm the type of person, when I get home, I put up my clothes or put them where they need to go immediately. No need to just stack them up. He'll stack them up all week and just look at the pile. And I'm like, why?
I don't look at the pile.
Why? But then,
I know where the pile's at.
But then, he's very organized with everything else. So that's one thing I learned about him is like, yeah, you clean, but you like organized clutter.
Which is a very important rule of moving together. Fellas, you got to pick your battles. I learned that the first week. If you want to coexist, you got to pick your battles selectively. You don't got to win everything. Because it's going to be a long 7 days or a long year, however long you live together. But I've learned patience and compromise.
He has, yes.
all that good stuff. Everybody who knows me will tell you pretty much I do what I want for the most part. I'm a very individual person. So you learn more so teamwork when you're in a relationship. And, of course, like lifestyle. If you live together, or if you live separate, should I say, then these are your bills, your crib, your pretty much everything. So when you live together, it's not so much of who pays what, but at the end of the day, you kind of understand that kind of all the money is all of you all's. And it just so happens to go and come and flow on different stuff. But at the end of the day, if times are bad, super good, or whatever, you should always know you're in this kind of together. It isn't just you. So you lean more so on teamwork than just, this is all mine, I got to make a way for myself,
Right.
this and that, because you got the other person here. So it's like, it's more so teamwork. What I learned about her is she's very punctual, which isn't really great for me because, living by myself, people, I'm not going to say black people, I'm not going to say just men, but certain people, like myself, have that patented, we're on the way, and most people understand what that means.
2 hours later.
You understand, if I say I'm 5 minutes away, you know that doesn't mean 5 minutes. If I say I'm 2 minutes away.
His 2
doesn't-
minutes really means 2 hours. So
Okay.
when he says 5 minutes, that should equal to about 5
So
hours.
if I say I'm ready, I'm on the way, that means give me another hour or two. If I say I'm in the car and I'm headed there, give me about 30 minutes because I'm really not leaving yet. Everybody knows this. She never did, and she still chooses now to not know this. So now living together, you can't really lie as easily because she can see you. So now if you say, hey, let's go, and I say I'm ready, she literally sees you not dressed. So it's been kind of annoying, but we're working on that. So now it
So hold on,
forces me
wait. Who's
to
working on it? You working on being on time?
No,
I'm trying
relaxing
I'm trying
to
and
have you
understanding
relax. I'm
that.
trying.
Okay.
That's why here in my household, we have ample supply of alcohol over there. I try and say, take a shot and relax. I'm coming,
No,
but
no.
we're working on it.
Gotta work on being on time.
Relationships are a work in progress all the time.
Gotta work on being on
All the
time.
time.
I want to go first. I have learned a lot about me. Oh my gosh. Like, I've learned that when old people say, like, a person is who they are and you can't change them, that is for real. You just really just got to accept that person for who they are, where they are. And whoever they are is who you're going to marry. So you got to be cool with that. And if you're not, then deuces. But there is no perfect person. I've realized that. And if you really love a lot of the qualities about the person that you're with, just work through them. I mean, I've learned that. Like before, it was just like, there's this perfect guy and I'm going to find him. If it's not this one, done. I was always telling guys, done, next. But now I'm like, I don't really want to go nowhere. Let's just work it out.
To begin with, I feel like I'm able to connect with people very easily and very quickly. And for her, I think I was able to do that, but take it a step further, where it's not just what she's showing me, it's also what she's not showing me. I think that the saying, when somebody shows you who they are, the first time you have to believe them, that holds weight, but I think there is, an exception to that, because even when you're with somebody and you're, so stuck and 2 feet planted on the ground on who you are, you still have to make room to change. Even if it's something that you don't feel 100% about, you still have to consider the other person. I think that's the biggest thing of being in a relationship, is knowing that you have to change. Otherwise, it's never going to work for anybody. There's certain things I feel like that I've done in the past that I no longer do because of her, and she's checked me on it, and I had to kind of, be a man about it. I ain't changing. Then when I get by myself, I'm like, maybe she was right. I might have to change that.
You should say that in front of me.
And I think she's definitely made some changes as well. But I think that's the part where where you're committed to somebody, when you're, willing to make a change.